Movie
Me
Death was
either.
great, by the way. It's a
I
great.
try.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, it
Hey,
means a
Calum.
lot that you're taking the time.
Yeah.
Always for you guys. Hey, Calum. Hey, Freddie. My name's James Pacella from Movie Death Post. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with me today to talk about the film So Torn.
Oh,
Thank you.
really appreciate it.
Freddie, how many times do people ask if you're actually 24 years old, or they just like assume you're like 30 or 40, just like masquerading as a 24-year-old? Because the film is genius, in my opinion.
Oh, that is very kind. I don't even know what to say to that. I'm very again, I'm just the journey with this film has been a long one, and uh Calum's probably sick of me saying it, but I because I edit my own work, I can't see it clean anymore. So the fact that, you're interested in talking and that you even took the time to watch it, is always just means a lot to me.
And
I
James,
watched.
I'm with you. I'm waiting for him to like rip off his mask, and we
I know.
realize like Francis Ford Coppola just like parading around as a 20
Or
something year old.
yeah, or Guy Ritchie
Uh,
or Tarantino or something
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
that.
Could be any of them.
You know,
too kind.
not only did I watched it twice. Plus, I watched the short on YouTube like three times just because I wasn't sure where the movie was going to go before I watched it. So I was like, this is incredible stuff here right
Oh, that
now.
is way too kind. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Caleb, you get to work a lot with John Lynch's character. He plays your dad,
Yeah.
Hudson. What was it like getting to work with him? Because I've been watching John and stuff from like The Head and Black Death and everything like that, and I've loved him for so long. What was it like working for him?
Well, he's so kind, but in the movie he's so terrifying that it was it was my first relationship with him was really through the character because we both of us really stayed in our characters a lot while we were on set. And while we talked and got to know each other beforehand, we really made it about the work at the beginning. So I mean, and it was partly by design because when our characters do have these moments together, they're quite emotional and they're very long scenes, and it was important for us to really stay in it and make it very truthful and honest. So it was very fun at the last day that we worked together because we grabbed a beer afterwards and we actually got to know each other. And I learned that he was not terrifying, but such a lovely, sweet, kind person.
Yeah, what was it like for you in that diner scene when Eve's doing that dance and everything like that? Are you just like, what is happening? Is that the first time you ever saw it, or had you practiced on set before?
You know what? I heard about her doing it in a tape. So I'd heard that there was this famous tape of her doing it that everyone was talking about. I don't think I ever saw it. Maybe I saw it afterwards, but I wanted to see it on set. Like, I wanted to witness it as the character would. But that scene, I was just it was very emotional. I don't think I've ever been that emotionally drained from a scene that I've ever done. It was an amazing experience, and it was. I remember going to sleep that night, and I slept for like 14 hours because it was just such a there was so much build up to it, and then I had no more tears left to cry.
You
And
know,
the tape that he's talking about is Eve's audition. And one of the two things we had her do in our audition was one, pretend that she's driving through the crime scene, and the second thing was that dance, which I felt terrible asking her to do because I could never do something like that. And, let alone, in your own space and, pretending to be in this high stakes scenario where she's trying to distract and do this Rube Goldberg scheme and have an emotional catharsis. So that tape was basically what you see in the movie, and she actually watched it a second time right before performing, and she replicated exactly what she did in her audition, and was a lot of fun to shoot.
yeah, she told me she did it on Zoom for you or something like that as an
Yeah.
audition. And like as I was watching it, I was like, couldn't help but kept thinking about Ian Holmes' character in Alien, like when he got hit and started like malfunctioning and started spinning around like that. That's the first thing that I told her. That I was like, it looked just like that scene in Alien to me. I don't know if that's what you were going for, but that's what I took from.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, we love stuff like that, and we love Spike Jonze's work too, and his crazy, dance scenes, and specifically the his Spike his Kenzo ad with Margaret Qualley was a huge inspiration, and Eve embodied that craziness.
Freddie, how did you come up with the story for So Torn? Like, I feel like I was watching it, I got like a lot of Robert Frost, like The Road Not Taken and everything like that. You could go a bunch of different directions. Like, where did you come up with the idea to do it like this?
It was a very, very long journey, and I'll keep the story brief. But as you saw, it's based on a short film of the same name, which was my application of film school. And my dad and I co-write. His name is Fred. I'm Freddy. You know, I'm the fifth Fred. There's too many Freds. But we were very much inspired by the work of the Coen brothers and No Country for Old Men and that premise of coming upon a drug deal gone bad. But we wanted to subvert it with a character we hadn't seen in that setup. And so we loved the idea of a seamstress and the contrast between her thread and the guns, et cetera, et cetera. And we shot the short film, which is the inciting incident of the feature. And we didn't think, we never imagined that it would be a feature film. And I'll never forget driving home uh, from shooting the short, and I was in tears because I thought, there's no way this is going to get me into any film school of any kind. And you don't know. When you're close to being on set, it's just, I had no clue. But we made it, sent it out to the schools, but also blasted it out to anyone who would watch it. And it got passed along and ended up in the hands of Joel Cohen, who inspired the whole film. And he was very kind to meet for coffee and said, you should turn this into a feature film and do it the blood simple method of independent filmmaking. So that's when we knew, okay, we have to turn this into a feature. But we spent about 2 years after that trying to figure out how we would adapt it. And it took about 20 drafts of a linear version of the narrative and another 15 to 20 drafts of the version that you see now, which was very much inspired by Run the Run, which we also love. And so it was a very long journey to get to this final structure and product.
Well, yeah, I'm happy you did. And look, I can tell you, I don't want to pump you up too much, Freddie, but like I've sat across from Robert Eggers and Ryan Johnson and Colin Trevorrow and all these directors, and I can tell you one day you will be one of them just from watching this and the short. I can tell you that's how talented you are just from watching. And I don't lie in these. So
That is way too kind. No, you're gonna make me cry on camera, which is not.
that's what I'm going for. You have to have I mean, you do everything in this movie. You act, you write, direct, edit. Now you're going to act on this video right here. You can do your crying.
Exactly.
That is very kind. Thank you very much.
Calum, let's kind of make Freddie cry a little bit. What was it like working for him on this film? How awesome was it for you?
It was so great. I mean, I was a huge fan of the short film. So our agents at UTA sent over the short film and said we had this amazing new filmmaker you have to check out. And like you, I watched it and I thought, I mean, this has to be someone in his 40s or 50s that's behind this because it felt so mature, and it also I couldn't pinpoint what his references were because it felt like it was done by one of the great American filmmakers, but it also felt like it had a huge European influence as well. And so I was like, where is this
Definitely.
guy from? Found out that's where his influences are both from. So it made more sense once I met him. But then when I met him, I was like, is this you? You seem like you're 30 years too young to be making a movie like this with that kind of maturity. And then we made another short film called Shedding Angels together. Uh, and that was such a great experience that I think I basically begged him to be in whatever he's making next.
Too kind, once again. It was so obvious to work with Calum because I'd been a fan of him ever since I was a kid. And he was just, again, very, very kind and taking a chance on working with me. And I wrote the role for the feature for him. So it was a very easy casting choice.
That's awesome. I mean, I've been watching Caleb since I was younger too, but he's been doing this for so long, from Caprica to Supernatural and all that stuff where you're
Africa.
showing.
Whoa, yeah, super. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love Caprica. I might be like one of
I
10
do
people that
too.
actually like the show.
Yeah, I thought it was great too. I couldn't believe it didn't keep going.
It didn't get us. Yeah, Battlestar Galactica was great, and then like Caprica started off slow, and I was like, this show's actually awesome, but it ended and never
Yeah,
came back after
yeah.
that. Like that. Callum, at your age, are you sick of acting yet, or are you just ready to just keep going at this point? You've been doing it for so long since you were a kid, so it's like,
Yeah, it's been 25 years, which is crazy. And I realized recently because I love it so much and I just don't ever want to stop. I did think to myself, if I live to 100, am I going to be doing this for 91 years of my life? Is that what I've signed up for? It's also weird to have like it is weird to have gone to the same like job and like the same like workplace since you're like 9. It's kind of like you're like going to the same elementary school and like you're still sitting in the same desk and you're doing the same thing. And it does sometimes feel like it's crazy to me that it's called a career because I grew up on set and it felt like such a playful, fun thing to do. and that energy has never gone away. And I think it's also because I've gotten the chance to work with great new filmmakers like Freddy, who continuously reinvigorate my passion for this art form by doing new and creative things within the form itself.
Sure. Freddie, last question before we wrap up here. What do you have planned for us in the future? Because this might be the only time we get to talk. You might be too big the next time your movie comes out. I might not even make it on the cut list. What do you got
No,
coming up?
that is again way too kind. I'm just so honored that this film is, coming out now and is going to have a theatrical release. My dad and I are always writing, so we have a new project that, is taking advantage of my mom's second half because my mom is half Swiss and half Brazilian. So we hope to go to Brazil to shoot the next one. But still writing, and I just hope I'm lucky enough to keep making stuff because I have so much fun doing it. And it's when you work with people like Calum who are just masters of the craft, it's just very easy to direct. So he makes me look very good.
Oh, I think I'll be seeing both of you guys in some amazing stuff shortly. I actually don't have a doubt in my mind that's going to happen for both of you. But I appreciate you guys sitting down with me today. I love So Torn. I can't wait for people to see it when it comes out next week, I think it is. But it's been an absolute pleasure, guys. Thanks again for talking to me.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Really,
Appreciate
really
it.
appreciate it.